Hello and welcome to the second round of the 100% Racing Series in the 4-minute racing lead. Tom Kenshaw, commentator, bringing you qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. Now, just for your information, this is just going to be the qualifying session with the race happening tomorrow evening. And with the low numbers for qualifying, we are just going to be doing a short qualifying session rather than the usual full quali. Dixon saying hello. Hello there, Dixon. Good to have you for qualifying as well. And it appears to be we have 10 drivers in for qualifying. We may have two more before the session ends, but we'll find out soon enough anyway. So here we are in Suzuka, waiting for some cars to make their way out onto the racetrack. It's got Ollie RL for AlphaTauri. Just looking to see who he is in place of. He's in place of Dixon, who's now moved over to the Williams. Got Orange and Gamma in the Racing Point, as well as Man Moody. Dixon moving over to the Williams. You've got Wild Dog in the Haas. By the way, BGR Ecox, who is in place for Leppi. King of the Hills for Renault. Jay Hartnell as well. Statistic King, who was in the Rebel last weekend. And we've got Vamu Newbell in the Alfa Romeo, in place of either Big Balls Bells or Kean Green. I would say it's Kean Green, but who knows. And Man Moody has he's already lost it coming out of turn 5, I think. It's the corner before the Dunlop curve, but he's already lost it. He's already crashed out of the session. How embarrassing. I hope he didn't do that on purpose either, because that will be seen to by the stewards if he has done that deliberately. So just looking to see who is close to starting their first flying lap of the session. Looks as though it's going to be Vanville Niebel. Newbell crossing the line to begin his first flying lap. So we're right on board with him. He comes to the S's. Now the Dunlop curve. Not taking too much curve. Oh, he goes onto the grass there, does Newbell. He's having to move the steering wheel all the time as well. It's certainly not been very, very smooth on this lap. He's coming into the hairpin now. Takes a nice line in there, actually. Again, a nice exit as well. Now he's coming towards Spoon, but I think he may have either backed out of that one. I'm not sure why he's done that. Probably to let Dixon through, who's on a faster lap than he is. And I suppose the good news for some of these drivers is that with there being only 10 drivers competing in this qualifying session, whatever times they do their fastest on, they have to start the race on them. Now, Dixon is on the medium compound, so should the medium compound be the fastest that he sets his qualifying time on, he will start the race. Oh no, ooh, he nearly dropped it. He caught the curb on the outside of the Casio triangle, and he nearly binned it right in the pit wall as Xcott goes quickest on a 128.1. Dixon crosses the line on a 32.4 with that spin. We've got Vamu Nubel coming through. As opposed to 1 minute 47, which is nowhere near representative. Origin Gamma is next for Racing Point. Coming out of the lot, a Casio Triangle. Faster route to the line is a 26.9. So Origin Gamma sets the benchmark for the others to beat. Here is King of the Hills. Over the line he comes. It's a 34.9 for him. Jake Hartnell is next. And it's a 31 dead for him. So the lap time's not as close as we were expecting them to be at this point. And the fastest driver so far is Origin Gamma, who sets his time on the mediums. This is Newbelt in the Alfa Romeo. He's coming through the Casio Triangle. This should be a faster lap than before. He's on the soft compound. Crosses over the line to post a 1 minute 27.6. That puts him second for the time being at least. Who else is on a fast lap? Ollie's crossing the line to start one. Likewise with Wild Dog. And we've got a race to point. I think he's coming back into the pits this lap. Yeah, it's Origin Gamma who's coming back in. Here is Jay Hartnell, who's the next driver on a fast lap. It's a 37 dead, which is not really a representative time. What's his time like in Sector 2? He's only 2/10s up from before. So Jay Hartnell not as quick of a lap as we were expecting him to be on. This is probably going to be in the 1 minute 30s for the Renault driver. It's a 1 minute 30.8. That puts him fourth. So only a couple of tenths faster than before. This is King of the Hills, crossing over the line, and it's no improvement for him. And Newbolt going into the gravel to get out of everyone's way. But here's Wild Dog in the Haas. It's 1 minute 12.9. We haven't got anything to compare that with at the moment. So look to see if he betters the leader's time. How far will he be off? It's a 29.7 for him. And for Ollie, he's posted a time of 1 minute 28.5. That puts him fourth fastest. Statistic King over the line for Red Bull, it's a 31.5. So not as quick of a laps as we are expecting at the moment, but the track does seem to be getting quicker. King of the Hill's taking a little bit of grass as he approaches Spoon. And exiting Spoon onto the back straight where the circuit overlaps. Through the Casio Triangle. On the soft compound, I think it's going to be a 29 dead for King of the Hills, and it is what it is. Fifth fastest for him with that run. Dixon, who is just completing an outlap, so he'll be starting his latest one on the media compound. So Dixon, race winner last weekend at Monza. Had to fight his way through the field at some point, but he got the job done anyhow. Wild Dog crossing over the line. It's a faster time before, nearly 3 tenths quicker, but he stays sixth. Now Dixon is on a lap in the Williams. think I got wheel spin coming out of the hairpin there. That will cost him some time. But here he comes through. He's half a second down from his previous best, but remember, he had that mistake coming out of the Casio triangle, which is about to go through now. Doesn't get too much wheel spin through there. Over the line he goes, and it's a 27.6. That puts him third. So much better than before. Here's Statistic King. In fact, we'll go to Wild Dog next, because he's just gone over the Casio triangle, so we'll come away from him. Statistic King, a quarter of a second up from his previous best in Sector 2. Here he is coming through the Casio triangle now. Over the line he goes, and he's half a second up from his previous best, but he stays 9th. So we can see a few more drivers coming out of the pits now on the new set of rubber. This is just a rundown on the calendar for this season. We've got Canada, which will be after Japan next week. Then it's Zandvoort in Holland, Azerbaijan, which is Baku, China, Singapore, Silverstone, and the 9th and final round of the season will be in Austria on the 9th and 10th of July, which will be the last weekend before the official release of F1 2021. So here's Newbell, 600ths down from his previous best in Sector 1. Got it right through the hairpin. A nice smooth exit as well. Coming out of Spoon. Down the back straight. 3 tenths up from his previous best. This is probably not going to put him fastest of all, but most get him closer to Orange and Gummer's fastest provisional pole time. So Newbell coming through the last corner now. It's a 27.1, over 4 tenths quicker, and he's just a couple of tenths away from the fastest time. Jay Hartnell crossing over the line to begin his latest flying lap. We'll go to Orange and Gummer, who's on a much better time than before, half a second up through Sector 2. And he's coming into the pits, actually. That explains it why. That explains it. So he's wanted to start on the mediums. He was on a better time on the soft compound, so he didn't want to go faster than before on that particular compound itself. This is Jay Hartnell coming through Degner. Oh, you've got a kick of wheel spin on the second part of Degner. This is the hairpin. Taking a wider line, probably carrying a bit too much speed, and compromises his exit as well. So Jay Hartnell exiting Spoon onto the back straight. There is an AlphaTauri ahead of him, and we'll move out of the way shortly. 1.8 seconds up nearly through Sector 2, so Jay Hartnell on a much better time. This could put him in the 1 minute 28, so ahead of his teammate King of the Hills. Now Jay Hartnell is on the medium compound, and it is a 1 minute 28.5, 2.2 seconds faster than before, less than a tenth away from Ollie's 5th place lap time. So considering he's done it on the medium compound, that's a very, very strong lap time there for Jay Hartnell. This is Newbell, who's just cutting over the Casio triangle to get into the pit lane. Now, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be allowed, to be honest with you. One of the stewards may clamp down on that. This is Wild Dog, who is on a much better time than before. He was doing on the mediums. He's 6 tenths up. He is on the soft compound, though. Now, with this lap time, he's potentially going to go in front of King of the Hills into 7th. Rear wing open, crossing over the line. He does go ahead of King of the Hills into 7th place. A 1 minute 28.7. King of the Hills goes back ahead of him with his latest lap on 1 minute 28.6. So the lap time is still definitely improving. Jay Hartnell on a better lap than before. What's his time like through sector 2? He's nearly half a second up. He might just sneak into the 1 minute 27s, you know. He just needs to execute the Casio triangle very, very well. Oh, got a little bit of understeer through the first part of it. Avoids the grass, takes the shorter route, and it's a 28 dead. So goes 4th quickest with that time, does Jay Hartnell. And Ollie has retired from the session now. He's not going to go out again. So Wild Dog, 10th down from his previous best in sector 2. Don't see him potentially improving unless he can find some time in the Casio triangle, which he does, but he's cut the chicane and he will not have that lap time validated. I think we need to stop drivers from cutting that chicane, to be honest with you. It's just not very good driving standards. I can understand why they do it, but I don't think it looks professional, if I'm honest with you. So the stewards will want to clamp down on that. Here's Dixon going for pole position here. He has switched onto the soft compound. He's needing to find 7 tenths to beat Orange and Gamma's lap time. He was 3 tenths up through sector 1 from his previous. Oh, he's had his lap invalidated. So Dixon will have to go again. So we're less than 90 seconds remaining, so I think all those in the garage are not going to go out again. So we're only going to have up to 5 drivers who will be going to improve their lap time. Here's Eckhart in the Haas. He's 2 tenths up through sector 1, but he's made a mistake on the second part of Degner, and he's gone into the gravel. Now he's had to move out of the way of another driver coming through. It is, but perhaps he doesn't realise that Orange and Gamma is in fact on an outlap. Silly mistake that, really, from Eckhart's point of view. Here's Dixon going again on the soft compound. 2 tenths up through sector 1 from his previous best. He's set on the mediums. And Newbell goes into the barrier as well. And that is surely his session over as well. I have to say, driving standards, I know we've not had many people joining this qualifying session, but for me, this is not Formula Racing League standards. Not anywhere near it. Here's Dixon. Checker flag is out now, so any driver on a fast lap can complete it. We know that Nobel is not going to improve. So it's pretty much a shootout between Dixon and Orange and Gamma to take pole position here at Suzuka. Dixon coming over the curbs at the Casio triangle. And it's a 1 minute 26.4, and he goes to provisional pole position by half a second. Now, what can Orange and Gamma find? He's over 4 tenths up through sector 1 on the soft compound. Now, remember, he set his best time on the mediums. Statistican goes 6th fastest on a 28.5. Now, Orange and Gamma coming out of Spoon. And we'll look to see what his time in sector 2 is like. Eight tenths up through sector 2, so providing He keeps his car within the confinements of the racetrack, not pushing too hard. Pole position should go back to the Racing Point driver. Exiting the Cassia Triangle through the last kink. Orange and Gamma over the line. And it's pole position for the Racing Point driver. It's a 25.9 for him. A brilliant, brilliant lap. Orange and Gamma takes pole position for the Japanese Grand Prix. Dixon will line up alongside him on the front row. And in third fastest, we've got Newbell. His first outing in the 100% Racing Series in the Formula Racing League. Then it's Jay Hartnell in fourth for Renault, who will start on the mediums. Eckhart will be fifth, Statistic King sixth. Ollie seventh, King of the Hills eighth, Wild Dog ninth, and Mima Moody will start 10th, despite not setting a time. And the drivers who started on the mediums are Jay Hartnell, Eckhart, Statistic King, and King of the Hills. No, just waiting for the host to decide on what's happening next. There should be the end of the session, really, or the end of the session for today's racing. Just waiting for confirmation from the host of the lobby. Yeah, I can see drivers are beginning to lead the session now. So we'll leave it there, guys. That is all for today. So Orange Gamma hopes to convert his pole position into the race win. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.